Okay, good evening everybody and welcome to the kickoff for the write-in campaign for Stephanie Mercandetti for Planning Board. My name is Bob Berman and I am honored to be Stephanie's campaign manager. Thank you. I'm going to keep my remarks very short because other than my kids sitting in the corner over there, I don't think anyone else came here to see me speak tonight, so make this quick. But Stephanie Mercandetti has a unique ability to bring together a very politically diverse group of people, as we can witness by looking around this room tonight. And people come behind her for a very good reason. Those of us that know Stephanie know that she's a highly committed planning professional who will bring a much-needed skill set to help move the planning board and Framingham into the future. She's a leader. She is not afraid to roll up her sleeves and do hard work. And she believes that Framingham is a great community that can be even better. Before I introduce the next speaker, I want to ask you all for your help. Running a write-in campaign is a very difficult and daunting task, and it's one that we are not taking lightly. We are going to go after every possible vote, and to do that, we're going to need all of your help. We're going to need help with sign locations. We're going to need help sending out Dear Friends cards, the normal things that we need to do to reach out to the voters that we all need to reach out to. And on that note, I'm going to hand the microphone off very briefly to our campaign treasurer, Mel Warshaw.
I will tell you that one of the things that amazed me in this campaign was that political spectrum that you're talking about. It's really amazing to see the political spectrum goes this way, and you've got them here, 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 and here. It's absolutely fantastic. If only Congress could work in the same way. But we really work well together. But you know what unites us all? Actually, what you didn't say is that Stephanie is a really, really nice person. And that's probably why. This is such an important election for a write-in, which is always more expensive. If you've got to get everybody to do this exactly right. And her opponent has to do it also. But this is where you really have to work. And it takes, unfortunately, I am treasurer, it takes extra money to do this. And I hope that those who haven't given yet will do that. You can give it to me. You can make it out directly to me or my wife. And oh, am I on TV? If you've given, consider giving more, because this is a tough campaign. And think of yourself as member, President of the United States. We have a Supreme Court that is 4-4, and they're giving you the opportunity to pick the 9th justice. I say that because I'm an attorney, but you have that kind of a break today. So I thank you very much, and if you need me, just send money, right.
Thank you very much, Mel. I'm going to read off the elected officials that are here tonight. We have an impressive group. We have Senator Karen Spilka. We have Representative Chris Walsh. Representative Tom Sanacandro. Former Senator Dave Magnani. Former Rep John Stefanini. Former Rep John Stasek. From the Framingham Board of Selectmen, we have Dennis Giambetti and Charlie Sositsky. From the school committee, we have Adam Blummer. I think he needed to run to a meeting, but he was here for a little bit. And Mike Bauer. From the planning board, we have Christine Long. We have Tom Mahoney and Sue Bernstein. From the Housing Authority, Bob Marusi and Steve Starr. From the Democratic State Committee, we have Norma Schulman behind the camera. We have Parwaz Wahid and Lynn Valcourt. From the Republican State Committee, we have Janet Lee and Bruno. And finally, we have some additional candidates running for office. We have Bart Timmelty running for Governor's Council. We have candidate for School Committee, Don Taggart. And candidate for the Planning Board, Tom Mahoney. He gets listed twice. And Mike Hugo from the Board of Health, of course. And also we have many town meeting members here. There were too many to read off, but if you could all just take a quick hand in the air and thank you for everything that you do. So without further ado, we're going to get this program moving forward, and I'm going to introduce our next speaker. As I mentioned, Stephanie has brought out a very diverse group of people to support her. At first glance, the next speaker and I have very little in common, and it may seem a little odd to those of us who've been around town for a while to know that we're sharing the podium here tonight. But in reality, what we do share is a love for Framingham and a fierce commitment to our community. Janet Lee and Bruno is a longtime town meeting member. She has served on more town committees than we have time to list today. She serves as commissioner and on the board of directors for Framingham Baseball. She has coached numerous children's sports. And with all of her extra free time, she's been helping us immensely on the committee to elect Stephanie Mercandetti. So without further ado, Janet Lee and Bruno.
Thanks everybody for coming tonight. Thanks Bob, that was great. My name is Janet Lee and Bruno, and I know many of you here tonight are wondering who would have thought that they would be at an event with Janet Lee and Bruno, who was introduced by Bob Berman, who I'm about to introduce Senator David Magnani. But just keep this between us, because I'm afraid if it gets out that I might lose my Mass GOP state card. Yeah, I know this is discreet, but I see a camera over there. So, but seriously, this is not about the parties. This is about Framingham. In Framingham, we've reached a crossroads. We have a path that we could go on a continued economic slide, and the other is a path to prosperity. It is up to us as to which path we decide to choose. Without a strong business base, the taxpayers will continue to make up the difference. And for those on a fixed income, and our seniors, and our struggling middle-class families, well, they are simply maxed out. And for us to survive, I believe we need to show that Framingham is open for business. So, thanks. I'm standing up for Stephanie tonight, because I believe that she will step up for Framingham, and I ask you all to also step up for Stephanie. And without further ado, I would like to introduce another strong Stephanie supporter, someone who has also worked tirelessly for Framingham throughout the years, Senator Dave Magnani. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is really a wonderful example of the breadth and support that Stephanie has here tonight. You know, I got to tell you, when I ran my first fundraiser, I had to convince my wife to show up. I don't know what this is all. I don't know what this is all about, Stephanie. I just want to say a couple things about Stephanie. When I first met Stephanie, she was walking in my office in the Senate, and there's a guy with her who once got nominated for president, and he was a professor at Northeastern, and he said, "I'm going to bring you one of my best co-op students." Now, she was a couple of days younger at the time, but I have to tell you, and Mary Ann knows. Where are you, Mary Ann? Mary Ann Pageant knows, because Mary Ann was her direct supervisor, and I must say, the folks in my office, obviously, well, many of you, for certainly Betty, of course, but many of you know at the time that Stephanie is an extraordinary, still young woman. And not only did she work for me in the Senate, but then after I left the Senate, she left the Senate, she actually had poor judgment to come back and work for me again in Boston. And so I've seen her in many, many different contexts. And I feel like I know her well. So my endorsement of her is really as someone who's watched her develop personally and professionally over the years. And I have never, ever seen her make a misstep. Socially, in terms of her personal judgment, in terms of her professional judgment, she's as smart as you can possibly be. She's as dedicated as you can possibly be. She's as competent as you could possibly be. More importantly, as of course Bob said, she's the most likable person I've ever met in my life. I don't know of anybody who doesn't love this young woman after having known her for 5 minutes. Why? Because of who she is inside. There's another fellow I met on the campaign trail who I guess now has since become president. And I remember saying to him one time after reading his book, and this is not a partisan comment, this is much more of a personal comment, but I remember reading his book about Dreams from My Father, and I said, Senator, I said, I have some advice, if I could, after 20 some odd years. I said, those of us who support you because we trust your center. And all we ask, and Planning Board is a terrific, terrific example of why we need someone like this. All we ask is that when push comes to shove, you trust your own center. We trust you as a person. And I trust this young woman to do the right thing. I have no idea what her position is going to be on any one issue. I will only tell you this. She will be more informed than anyone else. She will use the best possible judgment on behalf of the community. She'll be as objective about the well-being of the community as anyone could possibly be on this board. She's professionally prepared for this position in ways that perhaps very few are when they take this job. And she will be as dedicated to doing the right thing in every single decision. She's the least biased, most objective, most intelligent young woman that I know. And all I can say to you is I want to thank you for stepping up to the plate today. Senator, thank God she's running for local office. We'd both be in terrible trouble. But the truth of the matter is, your being here today makes me feel confident that Framingham is going to continue to be a strong and vibrant community, one of which we can always continue to be very, very proud as a community. Why? Because we've got young people like this that are willing to commit themselves full tilt on its behalf, and because we've got people like you that are willing to help her do that. So thank you very much for being here. For Stephanie, thank you very much for committing yourselves to our community. And Stephanie, God bless you. We'll be right with you every step of the way. God bless you. Stephanie Mercandetti. Would you like to have a daughter like that?
Yes, it is about time, huh? Wow, it's certainly hard to follow all of those speeches, so I will try to be brief, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background about who I am and why I'm running as a write-in candidate for Planning Board. I also am just amazed at all the folks that are here this evening that have come out to support my campaign. It's truly an honor, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've lived in this community for 14 years. Framingham is a place that I call home. I moved here because I certainly wanted to find a place to put down roots, find a place where I can call home, and I've certainly done that with folks that are here in this room. As much as there is also a job opportunity, I will admit, but like Framingham and our neighboring communities, Framingham is facing a number of challenges. We've seen a rise in commercial vacancies. We've seen taxes increase. Existing businesses have chosen to expand elsewhere, and there are others right at this moment in time that are making the same decision as to where they are going to choose to expand. Framingham has a number of financial obligations that it must meet. And with a shrinking commercial base, that obligation has continued to shift to the residential taxpayer. As we all know, all too well, in particular this year. While it may not be immediately apparent, the Planning Board does have a role in this formula. The Planning Board is responsible for reviewing development proposals and for working with project proponents so that a project is shaped that would meet the community's needs. New commercial growth, both now and in the future, will take significant pressure off the residential taxpayers and will allow Framingham to continue to offer the essential and wonderful services that it provides today, and the services that I was attracted to when I decided to move to Framingham and make it my home. Many of you have viewed this video presentation showing how business and life has changed over the years in Framingham. This is certainly an important time for Framingham, and how we grow in the next several decades will change our future. That decision will be decided in large part the makeup of the Planning Board. Do we want to continue with the status quo where Framingham is seen as an unfriendly place to do business? Or do we want to change that and have the community grow in a smart way that both balances and meets the interests and needs of both residents and businesses? The status quo, in my opinion, is not working, and as a member of the Planning Board, I will help move Framingham forward and not backwards. The town is in desperate need of forward-looking leadership on the Planning Board, and I feel that I have something to offer. I have the experience. For more than 10 years, I have been providing direct services to municipalities, including managing regional projects and helping communities access federal and state programs, grants, and services that would help them achieve their planning objectives and implement projects. These initiatives have included downtown revitalization, to industrial park development, to redeveloping brownfield sites. Through this work, I've had the opportunity to work with many communities, their boards, committees, and town departments to foster collaboration, to analyze problems, and develop creative solutions. For the past 4 years, I've had the privilege to work for the town of Walpole as their economic development and grants officer. Through that role, I work with both prospective and existing businesses, helping them to navigate the permitting and zoning processes. In addition, I again also help them access business development resources that will help them to grow and succeed in town. I earned a bachelor's degree in political science from Northeastern University and a master's in public administration from the University of Massachusetts, Boston. All of that knowledge that I've learned, plus the work experience that I've had, has put me in such a position that I think I have a lot to offer the Planning Board. My experience in education has given me the tools and the perspective to be an effective Planning Board member. I will bring a fresh set of eyes to move Framingham in a direction that will enhance our town in a responsible manner. If elected, my goals are clear. I will work to encourage timely and efficient development, focusing on projects that will be right for Framingham. I will work to reduce and remove blight and decay from our vacant commercial properties. I will build much-needed collaboration between the Planning Board and other boards and town departments, because we have to work together for our collective future, and collaboration is key. In addition to that, I will focus on bringing new commercial revenue and tax growth into this town, and hopefully it will take some of the pressure off of homeowners. Framingham is a great place to live, and it will continue, hopefully, to be a great place to live, and let's make it better. If you believe in my goals, and if you believe in Framingham, I'm asking you to do this. I'm asking you to stand with me. Stand with me these next few weeks to help me get elected by writing in Stephanie Mercandetti for Planning Board on April 3rd. And I'm asking you to stand with me beyond that. because it's going to continue beyond Election Day if we are to actually build a stronger Framingham for our future. So I'm ready for that challenge. Are you ready? I think you're ready. I want to thank you for coming this evening. I look forward to working with you, and thank you again.